Today we're going to be looking at the worst buff spells in Magic the Gathering. I'm going to start it off with the Sunken City. This is a blue enchantment. All blue creatures get +1/+1, but during your upkeep, you gotta pay the double blue, or you gotta destroy your Sunken City. Do we still destroy it, or are we in sacrificing it? Sorry, it's been errated to sacrifice. Double blue every turn so that you can keep that +1/+1. All right, let's move on with, let's see, Trapped Cosmos with Fortified Area. And remember, it can be any card. It can be enchantments, it can be equipment, it can be bestow creatures. We have a white 1 generic enchantment. All walls you control gain banding and +1/+1. That's exactly what I need for my wall deck. Turn 2 wall, turn 3 wall, turn 4 wall, and all of a sudden, just in case you think you're gonna get attack through those 0/4s, 0/5s, 0/5s, you're gonna get +1/+0. Yeah, this is completely useless. It's 14 cents. I think that's 14 cents too much than it deserves to be. Duke Firebird with Fire Breathing. Isn't this just like a red and it's literally the Fire Breathing card? A red aura. Oh yeah, so it's like, it's an aura that you still have to pay into. I mean, you still gotta pay that Fire Breathing tax. Yeah, you pay a red enchanted creature, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Should have been tacked already onto a card. A classic, though. Is that where this came from? Is this like a beta card? That's why it's called Fire Breathing? Oh, it is! I was always wondering, why is it called Fire Breathing? Well, I guess that answers it. Basically, types named after actual cards. In this case, we're going to move on to Pedgeman with World Slayer. That's the one that blows everything up, right? It's a 5-mana equipment. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. Does not buff. Disqualified. It must buff. Club. I can't look at this one. So it's banned. I can't even look it up if I want to. See? It's not gonna show up for you know, for many reasons. Okay, next up, let's take. How dare you? This is my favorite card. Oh, what, the World Slayer? Anyway, it's off. Rated Lex, we've got a super chat here. Thank you so much, Junk Yo Bell. A Junk Yo? Okay, it's a 4-mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have target creature you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. If you do, sacrifice that creature at end of turn. Sorry about that. Look, I was just looking to buff you up. It was an experiment. I didn't know you would spontaneously combust at the end. But you know what? It was worth it. It was almost like flinging you at the same time. Just a random mage with illusionary armor. This is a 5-mana buff spell. Oh, only the finest from the blue cards, right? Enchanted creature gets +4/+4. Now, when enchanted creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, you gotta sacrifice your illusionary armor. It should be called armor with a catch. What's the armor part? +4/+4. Well, what's the catch? You don't know. You don't want to know. Meme Bruley with Hank you. You're welcome. Okay, so 1-mana equipment. Equipped creature has tap. Put an aim counter on Hank you, and tap. Remove all aim counters from Hank you. This creature deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of aim counters removed. This is awful. I mean, this is actually just plain bad. This must have been some sort of joke. I think you'd be dead before you even equip the creature equip the card to the creature, and then start this gathering the arrows, shooting the arrows. No, this is awful. Next up with, well, you got one trap. I'll get back to you later. Okay, Jonathan with Elbrus the Binding Blade, without the transform being completed. Oh yeah, I mean, I look at this card and I'm like, 7 mana, get out of here. Just get out. I'm not even gonna try. 7 mana for a +1/+0, and when an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you can unattach it and it becomes a 13 monstrosity. 8 mana is a lot of mana, though. A little too rich for my blood, if you ask me. John with Tribal Unity. A green 2 generic X instant. Creatures of the creature type of your choice get +X until end of turn. Oh, so you can only choose one creature type. It's not even everything. Creatures of the creature type your choice get +X. It'd be different if you could choose a creature type and they all get buffed up based on the number of creatures of that type in play. But you still have to pay for it. I mean, how much mana do you have to expend into, like, a very narrow portion of your board? Absolutely awful. Next up, we're going to get with David with, what is this? Schism Motivate? This is a real card. 3 mana for an instant. Target creature gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Another target creature ggets -4/-0 until end of turn. Very interesting combat trick. I can't say that an Izzet deck should want to play this, but maybe in some world, some way. Benjamin Berkey with a defensive stance. Defensive stance is, it's funny, all these, the worst buff spells are all blue so far, or a very large chunk of them. A blue aura, enchant creature. It gets +1. Greatness at any cost. If you consider that great to have 1 extra toughness. And if you consider the cost to your power. Okay, Christopher B with Abby Matron. Abby Matron! Sing peace! Okay, 3 mana, summon cleric for a 1/3. For a white, tap, +0/+3 until end of turn. What? I don't even know what that means. Okay, we can't read the ancient scripture. Pay white, tap. This creature gets +0/+3 until end of turn. Huh? So is it like artificially a wall? Because it's basically a 3 mana 1/6. The way I'm looking at this, that's all it does. It pumps itself up. It's its own pump spell. Very funny, peculiar card. Okay, Ecos, thank you so much for your super chat. Nature's Blessing. 6 mana discard. A card. Give creature banding permanently. Value? Well, let's see. Take a little look at that value. 4 mana enchantment. For 2 mana, discard a card. Puts a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Or that creature gains banding, first strike, or trample. I'm wondering, did they like rename the counters? Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or that creature gains banding, first strike, or trample. Okay, I thought they might have renamed everything. You can put like a +1/+1 counter on it. You could put a banding counter, a first strike counter, because we have those things these days, right? We have those things. It's awful. Excess. Oh yeah, for that last card, yes, you tap it. You have to tap this card. I mean, it's not a big deal. You know, block, tap. It's not going into the red zone, I'll tell you that. That's why it's going to be impossible to attack. Okay, going back to this last card. You cannot attack with your Abby Matron and then give the buff. You got to give Vigilance first. Vigilance! Okay, who was I looking at? How about we go to Gleb with Reaper King? I don't think this is going to count. Some people would fight you over this, Gleb. Because who plays Scarecrows? Whoa! You hear that? Who plays Scarecrows? Well, I'll admit I don't play Scarecrows. But if I said that, Gleb, everyone would unsubscribe to my channel instantaneously. They're like, Nikachu, you're gone. You'd have no idea what you're talking about. Not to mention the Changeling crowd would also come after me. Instantly cut my channel 50%. Rob, imagine being an artist and creating something amazing only be placed on that card is terrible. Again, on the Matron. Oh, you mean this? Maybe this one. I think this is a very neat art. Very nice looking art. Access to Unholy Officiant. Very unholy, but very, very official. It's a white 1/2 vigilance creature for 5 mana. Put a +1/+1 counter on your Unholy Officiant. Now, if you have infinite mana, it actually is good. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. We got King Karatsu. Opaline Bracers. Outside a charge deck. I think even in a charge deck, you might have trouble with this card. It's a 4-mana equipment with Sunburst. So different colors of mana put Sunburst Sunburst counters on this. Equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of charge counters on your Opaline Bracers. Oh, so if you're like a Wooburg deck, this is not the worst thing in the world. Although at most, you can only give +4/+4. And then you have to equip for 2. Not to mention, it can get weaker if you remove the counters. You know, do a little Vampire Hexmage action on this thing. Toad's like, I play Scarecrows. Castle, old school crap. You would know, Toads, wouldn't you? It's a 4-mana enchantment. Untapped creatures, only the untapped creatures you control get that +0/+2, baby. That's right. You gotta toughen up. Behind the castle. Shouldn't this be a creature? These days, these would all be creatures. Okay, Ecos, the Baton of Morale. Would this card give you morale? No, not really. Probably not. It's a 2-mana artifact. Pay 2. Target creature gains banding until end of turn. Now, hear me out, chat. If we have infinite mana, we can give all our creatures banding. And then we'd be unstoppable. No, who would stop us now? Nobody. That's exactly right. It's funny Joe mentions Holy Strength. Because this used to be like such a bomb card back then. Like this is super old school. Let's get like a beta version. That's Holy Strength. It's a white enchant. Target creature gets +1/+2. You know, if you take out the Moxen and the Time Warps and the Channel Fireballs, if you try to play fair, this is the way to do it. You need the Holy Strength. But today, oh man, it's aged like absolute sour milk. Absolute sour milk. Drowning in sour milk. The mold is growing to consume this person over here. Next up, we got Dangerous One. Thanks so much for your super chat. Unlikely Alliance. Unlikely to make my deck. Unlikely to make mine either. A 2-mana enchantment. Pay 2. Target non-attacking, non-blocking creature gets +0/+2. Oh, I see. So you have to actually buff the thing before you decide to attack, before you decide to block. Well, that's going to take the whole mystery out of the deal. There's going to be no mystery to it at all. Jonathan says, I used to use Castle when there wasn't much available. Ooh, we got a lot. The old school crowd has come out today. Huge old school crowd. K-Ro, greetings. I found a group to play Commander with, and now I'm building my first deck. It's going to be a Rev Tithe Extractor. Congratulations, K-Ro. At least Holy Strength is draft playable. I don't even know by today's standards. Okay, old boy with Cry Shield. Okay, we got a 2-mana artifact. Pay 2, tap. Target creature you control deals no damage this turn, but gains +0/+X until end of turn. We're going backwards. This is backwards, chat. So I guess this is like an insurance plan where X is the casting cost of target creature. Is it 2 different targets? Prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by target creature you control. Okay, yeah, and it's mana value. So if you have a 4-mana card, you actually get buffed up by X based on how much the card costs. So I guess you attack. It's like, well, I don't like these blocks. Time to buff up this creature. It's the only way we're going to survive around here. Next up, we've got Banovsky. Thank you so much, Banovsky. Graphic violence. So you're telling me this is not PG-13 for messing up deck building? 3-mana instant. All creatures by the artist of your choice get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. By the artist of your choice? Well, this will work great if you have like a mono, I don't know, Rebecca Guai deck. Next, let's take a look. We got Steve Cooper in the house. Welcome, Steve Cooper, with the Vicious Betrayal. This card betrayed my deck. 5-mana sorcery as an additional cost to play Vicious Betrayal. We have to sacrifice any number of creatures? No way. What is this, 5 mana? Target creature gets +2/+2 only until end of turn for each creature sacrificed this way. And it's a sorcery. You know, I could get behind this if it was instant speed, because you could like go wide with a bunch of creatures. Maybe it's broken that way. If you can go wide with a bunch of creatures and just like a few get through, then you play this, sack all the creatures that got blocked or and are irrelevant, and get in that damage. I want to see this at instant speed. That would make it worthwhile. It would completely change the utility of this card. Sorcery speed, trash. I mean, it's absolute trash. Go all in on this one creature and then your opponent just destroys it instantly. It would be awful. This card rivals Wood Elemental in terms of power. Absolutely. Okay, next up. Let's... Tresaru with Stoneheart Chanter. We did Unholy Strength. Is it Stone Hewer Chanter? Stone... I bet it's Stoneheart something. I'm gonna look up Stoneheart. I bet it's Stoneheart something. Did I not read this? Oh, Stonehorn. There's no Stoneheart of anything. Why can't we have Stonehearts around here? 6 mana for a 4/4 Rhino Cleric. 6 mana. Stoneheart Chanter gains Vigilance and Lifelink until end of turn. That's it. Vigilance and Lifelink for 6 mana. It's not honestly, it's not the worst. You got yourself a 6 mana 4/4. I guess actually you have to look at it like a 12. It's like a 12. Okay, so it's like a 12 mana. Or so I guess it could be like a 6 mana 4/4 with an upkeep. No, sorry, it's a 4/4 with Lifelink and Vigilance, but you have an upkeep cost of 6. Otherwise, sacrifice your Vigilance and Lifelink. Just another way of looking at the card. I was looking for cards that were buffed. No, well, I mean, you can look for cards. They have to buff, but they got to be bad. That's the whole point of the show today. The Red Scout, Accelerated Mutation. Oh yeah, it's gonna be the last time you mutate. 5 mana instant. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn. Where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control. Oh, actually, that's not the worst. I thought this was. There was a card like this. There's something mutation, and then you have to sacrifice the creature. It's a lot of mana. Don't get me wrong. I don't like it. Good afternoon. How's daylight savings time treating you? Oh, it was treating me terrible yesterday, but I actually just didn't even sleep. I'll tell you what. I tell you what happened yesterday. I got up early because I thought I slept enough, but I didn't. Then my whole day was ruined. Christopher B with Young Phoenix. Oh, yes, that's the whole name. Pang Tong, Young Phoenix, the 3 mana 1/2. On your turn, before you attack, you may tap Pang Tong to give any one creature +0/+2 until end of turn. That's right. Pang Tong, it attack. But most importantly, it protect. Oh, is that what I was thinking of? Unstable Mutation? Blue enchant creature gets +3/+3, but at the beginning of the upkeep of enchant creature's controller, put a -1/-1 counter on it. If that thing lives there long enough, you're not going to have a creature for much longer. Trent Sims with Orcish Oriflame? Oriflam? It's a flammable? 4 mana enchantment. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0, but only while they're attacking. While they're on defense. So the Orcs, they're really good at attack. They're good on offense, but they got no defense. They got no D. They're terrible as a goalie, all around. Okay, now let's go. Did I get you, me and Bruley, the Thrall Champion? Thrall Champion is a 5 mana 2/2. Thrall creatures get +1/+1. Tap, gain control of target Thrall as long as you control Thrall Champion. I think you're only going to gain control of your own cards back. Is anyone playing the Thrall deck out there? The Thrall deck, just as popular as the Skeletons deck. Ecos, thank you so much for your super chat. Brass Talon, or also known as the Brass Talon Chimera, gives +2/+2 counter at least. 4 mana 2/2. Very long legs. The first strike, Blast Talon Chimera counts as a Chimera. Well, I would hope so. Sacrifice your Brass Talon Chimera. Put a +2/+2 counter on target Chimera, and that Chimera gains first strike permanently. It actually is like an earlier version of like Arcbound Ravager. Like, it's basically donating its power to something else, right? That's just how it's working around here. The Billion Pig. That's a hell of a name. Shieldred? Which one? Okay, hold on. Shield. Is it bad, though? It's gotta be bad. The original, I guess you mean the original Shieldred? Menace. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. I wouldn't say there's anything here. I don't know. I'm not sure which Shieldred you're talking about, but this one definitely not bad enough. Hexenort, Coral Reef. Blue enchantment. When it comes into play, put 4 polyp counters on it. Pay 0 or sacrifice an island. An island to put 2 polyp counters on our coral leaf. 1 island equals 2 polyp counters. And pay a blue, tap target blue creature you control, and remove a polyp counter from coral leaf. Put a +0/+1 counter on any target creature. This is terrible. This is the worst card of all time.
Oh, God,
This is the winner so far for the worst. This is a lot of effort. At the very least, it costs 0 to sacrifice your island. But I needed that island to pay for the blue. Evan. No card yet. Verdant Field. We have a 3-mana enchant land. An enchanted land has tap. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's not even permanent. Oh, guess what? It's from Prophecy. Everything is... It all makes sense all of a sudden. It's all coming together. What's a polyp? That is a very good question. That is for the historians on Google to tell us. Shieldred Whispering one is the original? Okay, let's investigate this Shieldred. I can't tell which one's the first one. Okay, the Whispering one. 7 mana for a 6/6 with Swamp Walk. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. Still, it's not... Why do you even make me look this up? There's no buff in this thing. Pyronkeer. Amok. We got a 2 mana. Enchantment. Pay 1. Discard a card at complete random. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That's it. And we do have to discard a card. If we do not discard a card, we don't get the +1/+1 counter. I guess you have to just reduce yourself down to nothing but lands in hand. And then you have to sacrifice them. Yeah, that's this blows my brain how bad this card is. Next. Islar. First one for the day. Rowan's Battle. Rowan's Battle Guard. 4 mana, 3/3 Human Knight. First strike. As long as you control a Rowan Planeswalker, Rowan's Battle Guard gets +3/+0. For as long as you control a Rowan Planeswalker, Rowan's Battle Guard gets +3/+0. Oh, wait a minute. How many this is a good question. How many Rowans are there? Oh, there's actually a lot. There's how many? There's 1, 2. Sorry, one of them might be fake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3. There's not many Rowans. Let me tell you this. There's very, very few Rowans in the game. So let me go back. Okay, that qualifies as being pretty bad. Oh, Chows. Did I not get to you, Chows? The Lotus Ring was overhyped by us Commander players, and now it's barely $1. The 3-mana equipment. When you say Lotus Ring, it sounds like it's going to add some mana. Indestructible. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and has Vigilance. And tap. Sacrifice this creature. Add 3 mana of any one color. Yeah, I remember about this. This is supposed to be a hot card. Don't people like making black lotuses that attack with Vigilance? No? They don't like sacrificing their death. Does it turn into an artifact? The creature gets plus? No, it doesn't turn into an artifact. Funny. Row your boat. Row your boat gently down the Rowan. Okay. Blacklands Geo with the Ambush Paratrooper for massive mana sinker. Two mana, 1/2 human soldier, flash flying. Pay 5 creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. Hey, just think of it this way. Again, if you have infinite mana, you have infinite buff. Don't let your mind prevent you from seeing, you know, the glass half full around here. Next up. Well, not every card today needs to pump, but it needs to buff. It's a buff world. So, I mean, I imagine there could be some exceptions to the rules around here. The rules are loose around here for the most part. The rules, you throw me cards until I disqualify them. Whale of Darkness, the Sangreich Surge. This is a 6-mana sorcery. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains double strike until end of turn. But only one creature. It's worse than Overrun. Surprise, 7-mana +1/+1 board trick. What is this for this last one? Yeah, that's true. It is. But all the creatures get buffed. Okay, Algots in the house with the fear of unsleeved decks. That's not real. It's actually bad for your deck on physical level. Fear of Isn't this a real card? Fear of unsleeved. I'm just like, that has to be... Oh, it is something. It's not legal anywhere. 4 mana for a 4/4 nightmare. As long as you aren't playing with sleeves, Fear of unsleeved decks gets +1/+1 and trample. No, you can't start with sleeves and then remove them. That would be cheating. Can't do that. You have to make your deck feel the pain. And then we have Jess says Sangreich Surge is great with some commanders. Oh, just so you can double strike them in one shot. You might be referring to some that deal poison damage that might have infect, Jess? Is that what you're insinuating around here? Corbinek with Buru. Worm Speaker. How many cards are called Buru around here? Not many. Buru. There's nothing. Buru, Worm Speaker. Okay, I'm gonna look up Worm Speaker. Baru. It was Baru. 6 mana for a 3/3 human druid. Worms you control get +2/+2. We all love our worm decks now, don't we? For 8 mana, tap, create a 4/4 green worm creature token. This ability costs X less to activate. For X is your greatest power among worms you control. I could actually see this being pretty good in a worm, like if you can really pull off the worm deck. Not that I'm looking to make a worm deck, but you know, the worms are usually pretty big. The greatest power? Yeah, you get some big worms. Step 1, Worm Coil Engine. Step 2, Baru Worm Speaker. The deck builds itself. Step 1, Commander is my Baru Worm Speaker. Step 2, Worms. Baru is a bit too good. I doubt this card is good in the grand scheme. Like, you know what? Like, the abilities honestly are pretty good in theory, but the deck that can be put in, there's no such thing as a good deck using Baru Worm Speaker. Just jank. It's all jank around here. Jank as far as the eye can see. Okay, we're going to look at more of Magic the Gathering's worst buff cards. But we got to thank our sponsor today, starting with FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite place to buy my Magic the Gathering cards. And Tarkir Dragonstorm, it's coming out soon. Oh, not only that, the Final Fantasy set, SpongeBob cards, Spider-Man cards. If you're looking for any of these cards, make sure you pre-order them at FusionGamingOnline.com. In addition to just buying stuff from Innistrad Remastered. And also the Fusion Open at Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I will be there April 12th to 13th. Can't wait. If you're near Winnipeg somehow, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, maybe you just drop by. They got a weekend of Magic the Gathering between Commander, Modern, and Standard. It's going to be fantastic. And I can't wait to play. And don't worry, when you order cards for those events, or for anything, don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online on the digital platform Magic Online, which I use to prepare for my events. I'm not going to go into the Fusion Open with no preparation. I'm going to play on Magic Online, and you can have access to all decks to prepare with when you rent the cards with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_BKS. And that's no BS. You like what I did there in the end? I made that up on the fly. I'm so proud of myself. ACDC guy says, I bought all the Tarkir commander decks with your code from there today. Oh, thank you so much. That's exactly what I need to hear. It's perfect. Beautiful. You're welcome. Once you go Fusion Gaming, you never go back. Next up, Borrow is good in a vacuum or in a draft. Would it really be good in a draft? Can you build around this card? Sound terrible. Okay, Maddie with the Celestial Sword. Celestial. It's pretty awful for the 9 mana you have to invest. Oh yeah, so first off, you gotta put a down payment of 6 mana. But wait, there's more. You still gotta pay more. 3 mana for untap it. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Its controller sacrifices it at the beginning of the next end step. No! Yeah, we have to sacrifice our creature. We have to. It better have like assassin level power. Otherwise, I mean, this isn't worth it. Okay, Ecos. Tidal Flats, known as Ristic First Strike. We have a blue enchantment for a blue. All your creatures that are blocking any non-flying creatures gain first strike until end of turn. The attacking player may pay 1 for each attacking creature to prevent Tidal Flats from giving that creature's blocker first strike. So I pay 2, you pay 1. This is never happening. Like, never. I do not believe anyone's going to walk into this combat trick. It's like, it's there for just the sake of putting the fear in the opponent. But for as long as you have blue mana up, they're just going to have colorless mana. Mapius, Anubis Spirit Crafter. Crafting spirits. And probably not the alcoholic drink. We have a 4 mana 1/3. Minotaurs! Get +1/+0! The Minotaur Lord has arrived. That's right, Minotaurs are coming for a Pioneer metagame near you. Okay, no lie. You know, on the back end of YouTube, they try to give you AI-generated suggestions based on like what they think the world thinks has interest. And I crap you not. They suggested Minotaurs in Pioneer, how it will like dominate the metagame or some crap like that. Or no, it's Pioneer Minotaurs versus the metagame. It was wild. I can't even play this card in Pioneer. It's not Pioneer legal. My Minotaur deck. Okay, we got Samurai Motoko with Decree of Savagery. I guess is bad. It's probably 9 mana. Put 4+1/+1 counters on each creature you control. But get this, we can at least cycle it for 6 mana. And when you cycle it, you can still put 4+1/+1 counters on target creature. Why would I pay full retail? Put 4+1/+1 counters on. Oh, you put on each. But if you cycle it, you just could have put on 1 card. Okay. Expensive. It counts itself for the buff. Super good. Does it? Yeah. It's a 2/3. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Neato. Next up, we're gonna look at Lesthian with Agent of Shaoku. 2 mana 1/1 Mercenary. For 2 mana, sacrifice a land. A target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. You know, Black, they're dark. They are so dark. They will sacrifice their own land to buff their creatures. They're all in like that. Greatness at any cost, including the mana base. Z-Man Vader with Avizoa. 4 mana 2/2 flying. Skip your next turn. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Use the ability only once. Damn! It could be broken if we could do it unlimited times. I attack. You have no blockers. All right, I will skip my next 20 turns to blast you in the face for like as much damage as possible. As my brother would say, there has to be a catch. There has to be a catch. Bulky, the cycle of life. as the Lion King always says. The 3-mana enchantment. Return cycle of life to owner's hand. Target creature you summon this turn is 0/1 until the beginning of your next upkeep. The beginning of your next upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Huh? Oh, I gotta bounce this thing back to my hand? Target creature you summon this turn. How did I summon it this turn? I spent all my mana on this damn thing. Until the beginning of your next upkeep. At the beginning of your next upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I don't even get it immediately? This is the slowest, crappiest buff spell I've ever seen. At least every other card today, we actually get the buff immediately. Okay, then. Next up, we got Nicholas. Is that Mads? Is that a card you're talking about? Mads Mikkelsen? You're talking about like an artist? Okay, is not what I thought it was. Hinaria Mirror Box. 3-mana artifact. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. And each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1, including your commander. Each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. What a great idea. David Groves. Arkham Slay. Ooh. What fun it is to slaying time tonight. Had to dig into my memory bank to find something this bad. A 1-mana. What is this? Like a small bowl? Mush! You bowl. 1 mana, or maybe it's an ox. It's a very unusual thing to have on a sleigh, though. 1-mana artifact, pay 2, tap. Attacking creature does not cause target creature to tap. You cannot use this ability if defending player controls no snow-covered lands. Attacking creature this turn does not... Oh, you're giving vigilance to something. But the opponent needs a snow land. It's anti-snow tech or something like that. Chronotog is good in the right environment. Shambling Strider. We got ourselves a 6-mana 5/5. Oh, it's like almost like a crappy Morphling. For 2 mana, you need red though. It gets +1/-1 until end of turn. So at best, it can become a 9/1. Don't go too far though, or else it will meet its demise. Next, just a random Sasquatch, but our random Sasquatch. Ether, is it Ether? I think you mean Ether Glider, or I guess it's Ether. Okay, I'm gonna look up what you're writing down. Ether. Oh, you're right actually. Okay, 3 mana, 2/1 bird construct with flying. It can't block. Oh, this doesn't count. Where's the buff? There's no buff here at all. Matty Matson with Cocoon. There's also an awful, very slow aura for its effect. Okay, green. Okay, F this. I'm not reading this. I'm not reading the ancient scripture here. Enchant creature you control when the aura enters, tap enchant creature and add 3 Poopa counters. Does an untap during your untap step for as long as it has a pooper counter. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a pooper counter from it. But if you can't, you sack it, and it gets a +1/+1 counter on enchant creature, and the creature gains flying. Congratulations, you're beautiful. Turned into a beautiful, beautiful butterfly. I don't know if it was worth that +1/+1, but you know what? Tough times. We'll take whatever buff spells we can. Okay, Benjamin Berkeley wants a second card. Nyxborn Eidolon. I was wondering when people are going to dish out these crappy bestow cards. It's 5 mana, Unholy Strength, and the animal on Arkham Slay is an aura. Or is an Auroch. Okay, thanks for letting us know. Bestowing for 5 mana, enchanted creature gets +2/+1. We were just talking about earlier how like Unholy Strength is terrible these days. Or Holy Strength and Holy Strength are terrible, and but if we want to charge 4 more mana for it, it gets even worse. Okay, Billion Pig wants Brass Knuckles. Trent is like, I like Bestow. This card is bad though. Bestow is a great idea. They should buff Bestow. Brass Knuckles, 4 mana. When you cast this spell, get to copy it. Equipped creature has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to it. Okay, I can get behind that. You know what? It's like it only gets good when you have enough equipment on the battlefield. You still hold on. Equipped creature has double strike as long. Oh, you need both. Okay, it makes a copy, so you have 2 copies of Brass Knuckles, and then when you equip both of them, how it works around here. We got a super chat here from Giga Wicket. Dust Corona is pretty underwhelming. Looks like this guy needs a drink. It's a red aura enchant creature. It gets +2/+0 and can't be blocked by creatures with flying. Oh, that's great. How about creatures that don't fly? It's +2/+0 and can't be blocked by creatures with flying. I'll admit that is an very unusual ability. I guess they're attacking underground. I don't know what's going on over here. It's just a random Sasquatch wants some redemption. Dwarven Armory. Okay, hopefully you know how this show works right now. We have a red for a 0/2. Pay red, tap. Discard a card from your hand to put either a +0/+1 or a +1/+0 counter on target creature. Interesting. They had counters back then. Was this the creation of counters? Like buff counters? Also very unusual buff counters, I might add. Crowcore Games. We did look at Abby Matron. I'm sorry, but what? Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, we looked at that. Could be my thumbnail. Dog Tarian with the Sheltering Prayers. Shell. Are they praying properly? We have a white enchantment. Basic lands each player controls can't be the target of spells or abilities as long as that player controls 3 or fewer lands. Okay, I guess I'll allow it. Can't be the target. So you have to have basically no lands in play to make this good. Basic land. Oh, it has to be basic lands. Basic lands each player controls can't be the target. This is interesting. You know, like in Legacy. There's a lot of formats like Legacy. You don't even have many lands in play. Interesting. Okay, next up. Toads is like, what about Threshold, Crows and Beast? What about Threshold? 4 mana for a 1/1. Threshold gets +7/+7 until end turn. That's well, the front is worse than its back. Yeah, it feels insanely nation. Prophecy had some weird ass cards. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, Crowcore. You're not looking for redemption, Crowcore. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just that we did that card already. You didn't do anything wrong, Crowcore Games. You're one of my favorites. You're a 3 mana for a 1/3 Drake, flying +1/+0. Sorry, for a blue +1/+0 until end of turn. You cannot spend more than blue in this way each turn. You get 1 buff. That's it. They didn't want to make these broken. Isn't something Drake like the default? Like a 3 mana 2/2 flyer was like a default for power level in draft. They can't let it get bigger than that. Otherwise, that would be fire breathing. This is water breathing, all right? If you water breathe, you could drown. Azumate Drake uses surf attack. I don't know. Just making up something here. Hexanort with no 2 cards yet. Barbarian Guides. 3 mana 1/2. For 3 mana tap, target creature you control gains a snow-covered landwalk ability of your choice until end of turn. At end of the turn, return that creature to its owner's hand. I hope you enjoyed it. It's basically there and back again. A Bilbo Baggins story. The key is you have to come back. Water breathing is clearly not as effective as fire breathing. I think a flamethrower is more effective than a water gun. Your idea ranking the best $2 or less buff spells in Magic? Maybe we could do something like that. We got Sky Streak Engineer. It's a 2 mana 1/3 human pilot flying with exhaust. For 5 mana, put a whole 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Let's not get carried away here. So basically, when you look at it, at the end of the day, this is a 7 mana 3/5. Way below power level. It's not even close. Way below power level. Fire breathing causes dragons to explode, though. Well, not all of them. Just some of them. Just to make sure they don't drink gasoline or any gunpowder. Next up, Corbinek, Gabrielle, Angel Fire. Oh, wow, what is this? 7 mana for a 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose Flying, First Strike, Trample, or Rampage 3. Gabrielle, Angel Fire gains that ability until your next upkeep. So it can be gains... Yeah, so just until your next turn. But it can be whatever it wants to be when it grows up. Griffins hardly ever get bigger than 2/2 flyers. It's good to know. I think the same thing is about Minotaurs. They hardly get bigger either. Some people are excited about Rampage. It sounds like it's a dead ability. Rampage 3. Okay, Pyron Kier with Dwarven Arm. I think we did Dwarven Armory. Oh, we didn't actually. Okay, so we have 4 mana enchantment, pay 2, sacrifice a land. It's another sack a land card to put a +2/+2 counter on target creature. Use this ability only during your upkeep. No! I'm not even allowed to look at my top card. Imagine using this ability, I don't know, 5 times, sack 5 lands, and I draw like my bomb rare off the top of my deck. I'm like, I just paid all my lands to buff up my creatures. And now you show this to me. Make sure you play this with Sensei's Divining Top so you know there's nothing good left on top. In many ways. Alex Bruce with Kobold Drill Sergeant. We know this card is going to be terrible. It's a Kobold. Only the Kobolds are the worst. We have a 2 mana 1/2. Other Kobold creatures you control get +0, +1 and have trample. This is the most oxymoron card possible. Everyone knows the Kobolds don't attack for anything. Then all of a sudden they're giving trample. This is the highest powered Kobold I've seen all year, for the most part. Well, I mean, considering you're a verified cheater, hey, I'm a verified misplayer. You might get away with using Minotaurs and Pioneer. Yeah, imagine I try to go into a Pioneer event. Wait, there's actually, I looked it up actually. There's actually quite a few Minotaurs in Pioneer. But you know, you're not wrong. I could probably play with a bunch of illegal Minotaurs and no one would say anything because like no one knows what's legal in Pioneer in terms of like Minotaurs. Trent Sims with Sea Legs. We have a blue aura flash enchant creator. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2, and as long as it's a pirate. Otherwise, it can be like sort of a pseudo removal spell. Otherwise, it gets -2, -0. We got Christopher B has millions of cards. The Naya Sojourners. Probably I'm not pronouncing that correctly. This is a 5 mana 5/3 elf shaman. But get this, when you cycle Naya Sojourners, or it's put into a graveyard from play, you may put a +1/+1 counter on you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You would also choose not to do that. Okay, in reference to that video, I know what a triggered and activated ability was. The problem is, in the moment, I didn't know what which of those abilities the card countered. Next up, we got Jonathan with the Blighted Shaman for the second ability. Oh yeah, we have a 2 mana 1/1. The first ability, Sacrifice the Swamp. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That one's terrible. It's so bad. You're saying the second gets worse? Second is tap, sacrifice a creature. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. I actually think the second ability is better. The first ability? I mean, do I really want to be... I don't want to sacrifice my swamps. I don't mind sacking our creatures. We can get more creatures. There's a million ways to get creatures. There's only so many ways we can get swamps on the battlefield. It's pronounced sojourners. Oh, thank you for letting me know. I like sojourner, though. First one, it was switched on this version. Oh, I see. They'll flip it, or they flipped it around. That is weird. Okay, get this, chat. Okay, so in the very first printing, the abilities are ordered like this, but when they reprinted it, they like flipped it for some reason. I guess they, yeah, okay. I guess what it is like the more powerful should be getting lower and lower. The lower you get on the abilities, the more powerful they should get. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what their reasoning is for this at all. How about some backup cards? The Enduring Warden. Enduring Bondies. A white 0/1 Human Scout. Backup of 1. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following ability until end of turn. When this creature dies, put its counters on target creature you control. Wow, everything has... Okay, what is the ability called? Arcbound Ravager. This is trying to give modular to everything. Everything has modular today. Vibrant says, wait, I skipped through the video. Why is Barbarian Guides in here? It's great. Some people like the Barbarian Guides. Okay, Algot, we got starting town NPC? Is that a real card? We have an NPC. Hello there, stranger. Great day, isn't it? And no matter at what point of the game you ask them that, they'll always say that. We have a 3-mana 3/3 human peasant. Each creature card in your hand has 2 mana. Adventure sorcery named Fetch Herbs. With you gain 2 life. You may cast it for an adventure for 2 mana, then exile. This doesn't make any sense to me. Each creature card you cast from exile enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. Each creature card in your hand has... Oh, it's basically like an alchemy card. No wonder I can't wrap my head around this damn thing. Good day for fishing, ain't it? Yeah, of course. Good day for... Oh, there must be some NPC that I don't know about. Is this like... let me try to guess the game. Good day for fishing, ain't it? No, I don't know the game. I have the picture of a game in my head, but I don't know the name of it. Does switcheroo count? Maybe. Switcheroo, 5 mana. Source exchange control of 2 target creatures. No, that's not really a buff card. That's a swipe card. Lord Trevor with the super chat. Thank you so much. Has Darksteel Garrison been done? I don't know. We'll take a look. No, actually. Okay. Fortified land is indestructible. Now, whenever fortified land becomes tapped, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. All that costs you 2 mana to cast, 3 mana to fortify, and you're gonna be pumping up things before you know it. I don't think that was a Zelda reference. Oh, it's a reference to a YouTube skit channel, VLDL. Okay. So there was no way I could answer that question anyway. I guess this is some homework I have to do after the show. There's a recurring joke with a guy who keeps saying it's a good day for fishing. It is a good day for fishing. Disowned ancestor. We have a black 0/4 Spirit Warrior. Outlast for 2 mana. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Is that it? That's it! That's all we got here. Copyright. Wow, you're not the same person as... Isn't there a second Skull and Crossbones person here? No, that's not a Skull and Crossbones. All right, you're not Jonathan. Copyright. No card yet. Essence Flare. We got blue aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0. At the beginning of the upkeep of the enchanted creature's controller, put a -0/-1 counter on that creature. And that creature, the time is ticking. For as long as this game goes on, it will only shrink until there is no creature no more. Melting like the ice cream cone in the sun. Crowcore Games, Civic, Guild Mage. Outlast is great. You're crazy. Well, maybe on some cards. Okay, we got the Civic Guild Mage. We have a white 1/1. Pay green, tap. Target creature gets +0/+1 until end of turn. This actually looks useful. It's almost like a 1-mana. I want to say like it's the noble hierarch of the time. And then for a blue, tap, put target creature you control on top of owner's library. That's actually really good. I like that. I like that ability. I mean, better to bounce it back into your hand, but if you got like a great creature and you don't want to lose it. Of course, the buff part is terrible. Okay, next up, we've got Z-Man Vader with... We did Cocoon, but I'll tell you what we didn't do. We didn't do Plague Sliver. What are all the slivers going to get here? 4 mana for a 5/5. All slivers you have. Yeah, at the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. I don't think we can count this as a buff card. Like, it does... There's no gain. It's no gain, all pain. It's got to be some gain to it. Some gain. Billion Pig with Leyline Axe. Is it I think it's Leyline Axe you're talking about? Leyline Axe, a 4-mana equipment. If this card is in your hand, you can start the game with it on the battlefield. Equip creature gets +1/+1. But it does have double strike and trample. Well, you're calling it the worst. That is very, very controversial. Some people are going to fight you over that. Now, I wouldn't play this card. I don't like it. Because we have Tressar's like, Leyline Axe is crazy. Well, then we can't. I'm going to put it to you guys. Does Leyline Axe see any play in Standard at all? Like anything? I want to say no. I don't remember seeing this card at the Pro Tour, but maybe I didn't see all the games. If you don't have to pay 4 for it, it's quite good. Yeah, but you know what the problem is? Usually we have to pay 4 mana for it now, don't we? And even after you pay, even if you don't pay 4 mana, you can still have to pay 3 mana, like it's a sword or something. In Commander, yes. In Standard, no. Okay, well, in that case, I think this is a bad card. I think it's a bad buff card. Is this a real card? Knight of the Flying Merfolk? I'm gonna start banning these cards. 3 mana Saga. Don't put a lore counter on the Saga as it enters. Put a lore counter on at the beginning of your end step. Weird. Okay, chapter 1. Create 2 1/1 blue Merfolk creature tokens. That's awesome. Put a flying counter on each tap creature you control and pay 3. Draw a card for each creature you control that dealt damage. I don't see this as... I don't see the bad in this. Is the problem. Stupid test cards. Okay, they're now banned. You got it. This is on the same level as Silver Border. You got a super chat for it. They're not real. Less than Steam Flogger Boss. I know this is bad for a lot of reasons. Okay, well, there are 4 mana, 3/3. The rigger creatures you control get +1/+0.5 haste. Not only that, if one would assemble a contraption, assembles 2 contraptions instead. If I remember correctly, this card made no sense for the longest time until they actually had to create contraptions, and then finally it had something to do. Longest abilities with nothing to do. At the time of the printing, there might have been 2 riggers, but there were many changelings, all right? They're like, changelings can always fill in those gaps. That's what changelings do. Chen with Fanatical Fever. More like rabies. Okay, it's a 4 mana instant. Target creature gains trample and +3/+0 until end of turn. Very, very underwhelming pump spell. It's like, I mean, if I compare this to like Rancor, you're spending 3 extra mana to get 1 more power. Changelings didn't exist either. Really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I thought Changelings was like a super old mechanic. We might not be real either, Nikachu. The universe isn't real until you look at it. But what if nothing is looking at you? Do you exist? Hey, for all I know, you're all AI. I've met some of you in real life at conventions, but only some of you. For all I know, you're all could be all AI generated before AI existed. There is a non-zero chance that this stream will have like AI agents creating words in chat one day. Predator Strike is a 2-mana, gives +3/+3 and trample. Predator's Strike. Yeah, here they are. Beep boop. 2-mana instant. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. Honestly, this is not bad. I think this is actually probably the strongest card on today's show. Basically, it'll be a good combat trick in what's it called? Limited. That was what I was looking for. Okay, Corbinick wants redemption. Plague Sliver, mess up. Dormant Sliver. He's on to us, chat. Scatter. Okay, 4 mana for a 2/2 Sliver. All Sliver creatures have Defender, and all Slivers have, when this permanent enters the battlefield, draw a card. I guess that's the best we're gonna do around here. And then, yeah, and then it like demotes everything to Defender. Well, that's it for today, my coffee crew. Thank you so much for being here. Hope everyone enjoyed the worst buff spells of Magic the Gathering. If there are any buff spells we missed, you can always let us know in the comment section below. And if you want to be part of the show, you can be here 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And thank you, my coffee crew, for being here today. People like Z's Master, Samurai Matoku, Crocor Games, Matty Matson, Hexenor, Toads, Christopher B. Kano. We got Daniel, Benjamin, Berkey, Steve Cooper, Jess, Crocor Games. Definitely copying some people. Leslie, Trent, Sims, Stanel, Lord Trevor, and more. Because you guys are what makes the show every single day. So keep bringing up those coffees, coffee crew. Appreciate you, and we'll keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next cup.